Hey guys, musicninjamat, and today I'm going to be talking about two books, two new series that have started up, one from DC, one from Marvel. So first we're going to do the DC book, which is Justice League #1. There's two other Justice League titles. There's Justice League Odyssey and there's Justice League Dark, but I'm just reading the regular Justice League, which is, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, etc. So Scott Snyder is writing this, which is awesome. I loved his work on Batman especially. And you've got Jim Chung on art. Straight away within the opening pages, just the way the narration is, I'm like, okay, I like this. I like the way Snyder writes. It's not too over the top in its explanation. Like, I hate when the art is not allowed to do its job. I should be able to see from the art what's happening. I don't need loads of narration telling me. So we see the team and they're split up and they're fighting these 6 different tribes in different kinds of zones. So, like you'll have an aquatic zone, stuff like that. And these tribes were actually sent out by Vandal Savage. And we just see the teams there fighting, and they have this amazing banter where, Batman starts being super serious, and one by one, they start making fun of him and doing their best Batman impression. And you have Hawkgirl going, oh, I don't have a Batman voice yet. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter, Superman's got the best Batman voice. And you can see Batman is just seething. And I love that kind of team dynamic. It's a lot like the animated series. Martian Manhunter is pretty much the main character of the book, which I like. He is connecting them all telepathically, and he's kind of sat above the Earth calling the shots, telling them where to go, what to do. The Earth's crust actually starts lifting, and they realise that it's the moon is doing it and has been affected. So Martian Manhunter's like, right, Batman, you set off the bombs you've got planted within the moon, and I'll just whack it and we'll destroy it together. Batman's like, why would you assume I have bombs on the moon? He's like, Batman, don't bullshit me, okay? I know you have bombs on the moon, which he does. This is one of the parts of the book where it feels most comic booky. It put me off a little bit, especially because even Flash says, we just destroyed the moon. This is a problem. And yeah, it's not really addressed, so I was like, okay, I don't understand. Throughout this battle, Lex Luthor is taking on Vandal Savage and really just beating the crap out of him, getting the better of him. And we see Lex back to his much more shady, evil ways. And all these tribes that were around Vandal are like, we'll follow you, Luthor. And he's like, yeah, just gets rid of them as well. Martian Manhunter's main hook, he doesn't know if he's worthy of this new position. And we see these flashbacks of him on Mars losing his family, and we can see the confusion that's running through his head. At the very start of the book, we see this thing is heading towards Earth. And as the battle's going on, we find out it's actually the heart of the Source Wall. And this is where the mystery is planted in this story. Will it help them? Is this their way of rebuilding the multiverse that was damaged after Dark Knight's Metal? Or is it just going to destroy everything, and they need to make a decision on how to react to the fact that the heart of the Source Wall is heading towards Earth. It's attracted towards Earth. And Lex has put together a team, and it's the Legion of Doom. There's Joker, Sinestro, Grodd. It's just an amazing team of villains. And straight away I'm like, okay, with this book, some moments really did cringe me out, like the whole destroying the moon thing. But there's all these well-written characters, and there's these moments where I go, oh, this series has so much potential. So the book wasn't like, wow, this is amazing, but I'm like, okay, I'm invested enough to see where it goes and where Snyder takes it. Lex Luthor kills Vandal Savage, and it's really weird because Martian Manhunter has this moment, and I'm not sure whose mind he connected to. If it was Vandal's, if it was Lex's, if it was both. But you see Martian Manhunter at the end of it all, and he's realising all these horrible secrets about the Source Wall and everything else, and it's just him there, just all alone, and you're like, well, what is this? Is this a vision of the future? Is this just concerns in someone's mind? It's very foreboding. So yeah, overall, really did enjoy it. Amazing potential, but there were bits and pieces that either confused me or just sort of cringed me out. They put a preview in the back, for Teen Titans issue 20. Being as it's in the book, I'll go over it quick. Adam Glass is the writer. Bernard Chang is on art. And this little preview was pretty good. It did a really good job of making you go, oh, I wouldn't mind reading that. I'm not going to pick it up, but it's what a preview should be. Not overly long, just this little snippet. We get a chance to see the new team that Damien has put together, and they're jumping in and stopping this girl from being sacrificed. It's all very demonic looking. And we get Robin's commentary on everything. And I love how his views are, we're supposed to be the next generation of heroes, but we're living by these really outdated rules and values that were set up by people like my father and by Superman. And it sort of cuts to seeing Robin putting together the team, and we see him talking to Wally West, Kid Flash, and I love it because Wally's on a dance mat, and it's just this little image that I was like, that's really cool because he's the Flash, he'd be really good at it. And it cuts off at a point where Kid Flash is just beating people up. He's taking pictures on his cell phone, like taking selfies as he's punching guys. And an arrow goes through his phone and he goes, what's your problem, Hunger Games? I'm assuming this is Red Arrow. And with it cutting off there, you are left like, oh, I want to read more. I assume it's just a case of, it's like he doesn't like Wally's attitude and how he fights. Now we're on to a book I have wanted for so long, because we had All New All Different Hulk, which was the totally awesome Hulk, which was just a Hulk series I didn't want. I kept trying to go back to it. I tried reading the She-Hulk series, but they just weren't the Hulk books I wanted, and finally I have that with the Immortal Hulk issue 1. Bruce Banner is back, and this book is just perfect. So you've got Al Ewing writing it and Joe Bennett on pencils, and it starts off, this guy is going to rob a gas station, but he's really nervous. He's shaking, he's all over the place. You've got the counterman is obviously there. There's this 12-year-old girl, and she's having this banter with her mum, and she's full of attitude, and she walks into the gas station, and Bruce is also in there. And the guy robbing the place is so nervous that he pulls out the gun, and obviously the little girl panics and drops something, and that startles him, and he shoots the girl, he shoots Bruce, he shoots the counterman, he just shoots everybody. And straight away I was like, holy crap, this is already quite dark and quite shocking. We get to see part of the police force and reporters and how they interact with each other, and it's just quite a interesting approach, because the police are saying like, we'll try and sort this out, and by that we mean paperwork will get pushed around and nothing will really get done, and that's just the sad truth of how things like this work. And I thought that was just a really, again, dark approach to take towards things. And we see in a morgue that, of course, the Immortal Hulk wakes up. We see Bruce's corpse just start to turn into the Hulk. The robber is a guy called Tommy, and we see Tommy's actually fallen in with this bad gang headed up by a guy called Joe. And Joe has lent Tommy money because Tommy's actually got a daughter, he's got a family, he's trying to pay rent, bills. And it's weird because Tommy is just a mess. He's so upset. He has fallen in with this bad crowd. He's just trying to provide for his family. And we see he's doing these bad things to pay Joe back the money he owes. Naturally, Hulk turns up and just starts beating everybody down, and it's great. It's also at this point I was like, okay, the art's really good as well. We get these huge big pages like this, and yeah, the art's just solid throughout. Hulk's intelligent, he talks properly, his dialogue is so well written, he's interesting, he's menacing. And the book was said to be a horror book, which it definitely is. It's full of suspense as Hulk is slowly closing in on Tommy, and we don't know how Hulk's going to react to him. We find out the gang are all alive, but beaten very badly, and Tommy is actually close to death at how savagely he was beaten. And naturally, the gang, Tommy, they are all scared to death of the Hulk. We see our police officer and reporter again basically talking and saying, this has to be Banner, like the Hulk is back. And our final little shot is Bruce looking in the mirror saying, I'm not a bad person, am I? What do you think? And we see he's talking to the Hulk. And this is interesting because as Hulk was closing in on Tommy, Tommy says, "I'm not a bad person, am I?" And Hulk goes, "What do you think?" And it's just this really well-written callback. And this amazing theme is, throughout the whole story, is there's two people in every mirror. There's the person you see and the person you don't want to see. And it really plays with the darker sides of people. In the back, Al Ewing actually writes all about when he read the first 6 issues of Hulk, how it was a horror book. He just talks about how it was this idea, is he a man, is he a monster? Hulk's both. And the story is actually called, Or Is He Both? And the book just feels like a complete love letter to those Hulk stories, and I think he just really understands the character. But yeah, I adore this book. I'm so happy with it. I hope it continues to be this strong, because it's the Hulk book I've wanted for so long. Hulk has always been my favourite Marvel character, my favourite superhero, so yeah, I'm super happy with this. Anyway guys, those were just my breakdowns of those 2 books. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Check out the social media links in the description. Don't forget to explore the whole channel and check out the playlists. And I will see all of you in the next one.